Jnanakosha, Puranas, Introduction.
सर्गश्च प्रतिसर्गश्च वंशो मन्वन्तराणि च वंशानुचरितं चैव पुराणं पञ्चलक्षणम्.
Skanda Purana, holy places in the vicinity of Purushottama Kshetra. Dwelling in length upon the majesty of Purushottama Kshetra, Goddess Lakshmi said, Purushottam Kshetra resembles a conch in shape and is graced by the presence of Lord Shiva. Towards its north is situated a temple of Lord Nilakantha. A famous Shivalinga named Kapalamokshan is also situated in the vicinity. One who makes a pilgrimage to Kapalamokshan becomes liberated from gravest of sins. A temple of goddess Vimala Devi is also situated nearby. Purushottama Kshetra is considered to be supreme among all the places of pilgrimage, and for this very reason it is amply named Tirtharaj. A divine pond called Rohini Kund is also situated nearby. Anybody who takes a holy dip there is freed from the vicious cycles of birth and death. It is believed that the increased level of water at the time of deluge ultimately recedes and disappears into this pond. Goddess Lakshmi said, O Dhanraj, this holy place is beyond your jurisdiction. Because people living there never experience death, it is well protected by 8 goddesses from all the 8 directions. The names of these 8 goddesses are Mangala, Lambha, Kalakratri, Marichika, Vimala, Sarvamangala, Ardhashini, and Chandrarupa. How can Lord Rudra be absent when Rudrani has manifested herself in 8 forms? So he has manifested himself in 8 different forms, as well as Kapalamokshan, Kshetrapal, Yameshwar, Markandeshwar, Ishan, Bilveshwar, Nilakant, and Vateshwar. While describing the majesty of Purushottam Kshetra, Goddess Lakshmi revealed to Lord Brahma, in the coming Satya Yuga, there would be a king named Indradyumna and would be famous for his unflinching devotion in Lord Vishnu. Being pleased by the king's devotion, Lord Vishnu would ultimately manifest himself from a wooden structure to bless him. Vishwakarma would then carve out 4 idols, Jagannatha, Balabhadra, Subhadra, and Sudarshan Chakra, from the wooden block, all of which would be installed by none other than you, Brahma. Once, while sage Jaimini was describing the greatness of Purushottama Kshetra to the assembled sages, all of them curiously asked him, where is Purushottama Kshetra situated? Jaimini replied, Utkal is situated at the eastern coast of Bharatavarsha. At the time of deluge, when everything gets submerged in water, Utkal remains unaffected, and it is the very place from where the knowledge of the Vedas spread in all directions. The descendants of Utkal are not only learned but also very prosperous. There is not a single person in this land who is not a devotee of Lord Vishnu. All the people belonging to the 4 prominent castes, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, diligently follow their respective dharma. This holy place never experiences natural calamities of any kind. Sage Jaimini then went on to narrate the tale of King Indradyumna to all the assembled sages. In Satyuga there lived a noble and virtuous king named Indradyumna, who ruled over the province of Malwa. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. One day, while worshipping in a temple, he asked the priest, I have a wish which still remains unfulfilled. I have a deep desire of seeing Lord Jagannatha with my mortal eyes. Is there any means with the help of which I can get my wish fulfilled. The royal priest had no answer to the king's query, so he kept quiet. Suddenly, he saw a group of pilgrims coming towards the temple. He thought that perhaps one of them might be having an answer to the king's query. When the pilgrims arrived at the temple, the royal priest posed the same question to them. One of the pilgrims answered, "There is a place called Odhara, where is situated in a grand temple of Lord Jagannatha. This sacrosanct place is also famously known as Purushottama Kshetra and is situated at the foothills of the Neelachal mountain. There is a holy pond called Rohin situated nearby. At the eastern bank of this pond is situated a majestic temple of Lord Vasudeva. The idol of Lord Vasudeva is made of Indraneel diamond. To the west of this temple lies Shabardeep hermitage, from where starts a path leading to Jagannath temple." Having said this, the pilgrim disappeared from everybody's sight. Not only Indrajumna but all the pilgrims were equally amazed by this sudden disappearance. Indrajumna was convinced that the Lord Jagannatha had himself come there in the guise of a pilgrim. Now his desire of visiting Purushottama Kshetra became even more intense. Indrajumna instructed his priest to find out the exact location of Purushottama Kshetra by sending somebody over there. Later on, the priest went home and sought the help of Vidyapati, his younger brother, in his regard. Vidyapati readily agreed to help his brother, and one fine day he proceeded on his journey with a select group of his trusted friends. After a long and arduous journey, all of them reached Ekaravan forest situated at the foothills of Neelachal mountain. The thought of being so near their destination made everybody extremely excited. But despite their best of efforts, they could not find Shabardeep ashram. Being tired, all of them decided to take rest for a while and then recommence their efforts to find out the location of Shabardeep hermitage. Finding a huge tree, all of them took rest under the shade of that tree. Suddenly they heard a heavenly voice which appeared to be coming from the western direction. They followed the voice and reached Shabardeep ashram in a short time. There they saw a large gathering of devotees. One of the devotees, whose name was Vishwavasu, curiously asked Vidyapati, "It is not easy to reach this place. From where are you coming and where do you intend to go? You must be tired. Wait till I return with some refreshment for all of you." Vidyapati was not in a mood to waste his time, as he was aware that Indrajumna was eagerly waiting for him to return. He told Vishwavasu, "I have a difficult mission to accomplish, so I am not in a position to waste my time. I am the younger brother of the royal priest of King Indrajumna. The king has vowed not to have a single morsel of food till he makes a pilgrimage to Purushottama Kshetra. He has sent me with a specific purpose of finding the exact location of Purushottama Kshetra and the easiest route leading to it. So help me reach the temple of Lord Jagannatha as soon as possible." Vidyapati eulogies Lord Neelamadhav. Vishwavasu told Vidyapati, "I have heard this prophecy of Indrajumna's possible arrival at Purushottama Kshetra in the near future. Not only that, I have also heard that Indrajumna would become so impressed with Purushottama Kshetra that he would settle down there for good after renouncing everything." Vishwavasu then requested Vidyapati to follow him and started negotiating the steep heights of Neelachal mountain. Vidyapati followed him through the curvy and arduous paths of mountain. Having walked for some time, Vishwavasu pointed towards a pond and said, "This pond is famously known as Rohin Kund. The Kalpavat that you see towards the east of this pond is considered to be so sacrosanct that a sinner becomes liberated of all his sins once he comes under its shade. Lord Jagannath's temple is situated between Rohin Kund and the Kalpavat. So ahead and have a darshan of Lord Jagannath, for whom you have undertaken such an arduous travel. Vidyapati's joys knew no bounds, as he had been waiting for this moment for a long time. First he purified himself by taking a holy dip in Rohin Kund, and then went inside the temple to worship Lord Jagannath. He worshipped Lord Jagannath by chanting the sacred Purana mantra. After the worship was over, Vishwavasu requested Vidyapati to visit his place, which was nearby. Vidyapati agreed and accompanied Vishwavasu to his place. Vidyapati was given a royal treat by his host, which made him wonder as to how could Vishwavasu arrange all the luxurious things at such a remote place. He could not control himself and asked Vishwavasu, even a king would have found it difficult to treat his guest as lavishly like you. I am amazed how you could make arrangements for all these things at a remote and secluded place like this. How do you manage this? Vishwavasu replied, it is not as difficult as you believe, since Purushottam Kshetra is a sacrosanct place and it is frequently visited by the deities who make divine offerings to Lord Jagannatha. I collect the residuals of whatever is offered to Jagannatha from the temple and bring it home. So I really don't have to make any special efforts to accumulate divine foodstuffs. On account of eating these divine foodstuffs, not only we have been blessed by eternal youth, but also we are never troubled by old age. Vidyapati was very impressed and requested Vishwavasu to become his friend. He also reminded Vishwavasu that he wanted to return as soon as possible so that the king could go on a pilgrimage to Purushottama Kshetra. But Vishwavasu made a shocking disclosure to Vidyapati and said, King Indrajimna will never be able to have a divine glimpse of Lord Jagannatha, as the Lord is soon going to disappear. But don't disclose this fact to the king, otherwise he would get disheartened and abandon his plan of making a pilgrimage to Purushottama Kshetra. Finally, when the king, in his utter frustration, would try to end his life after not being able to have a divine glimpse of Nilmadhav, the most gracious Lord will appear in his dream and instruct him to get constructed 4 wooden idols of Jagannatha, Balabhadra, Subhadra and Sudarshan Chakra. Having accomplished his mission, Vidyapati proceeded on his return journey, and once again he visited Purushottama Kshetra, which fell on the way. He picked up a garland which had been offered to Nilmadhav by some deity. Finally, when he reached Malwa, he found King Indrajimna eagerly waiting for him. After presenting the garland to the king, he narrated his experience he had at the Purushottama Kshetra. O king, Lord Jagannatha's idol is made of Neelamani diamond and is very ancient. Even the deities have been regarded and undiluted reverence of Lord Jagannatha and are frequent visitors to Purushottama Kshetra. The garland which I have given you was in fact had been offered to Lord Jagannatha by the deities. These flowers do not wither and have fragrance lasting for eternity. Purushottama Kshetra remains untouched by old age, sorrow or disease and gives salvation to anybody who goes on a pilgrimage over there. Indrajimna lives for Purushottama Kshetra. Indrajimna had been waiting for this moment for a long time. The moment when he would get a chance to go on a pilgrimage to Purushottama Kshetra, revealing his great plan to Vidyapati, he said, now the time has finally come for me to go on a pilgrimage to Purushottama Kshetra. I also intend to develop that holy place as a prominent place of pilgrimage. I would shift my subject to that holy place and perform 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas once I reach there. I also intend to devote rest of my life in the worship of Lord Jagannatha. While the conversation was going on, the ever-wandering sage Narada arrived there and informed Indrajumna how pleased were the deities after learning of his holy intention of developing Purushottam Kshetra into a major place of pilgrimage. Narada also dwelt on length on the virtues of Jagannatha's worship. Indrajumna, thinking that Narada might prove to be of great help during the course of pilgrimage because of his vast travelling experience, requested him to accompany him to Purushottam Kshetra. Narada readily agreed to accompany the king and said, "Okay, I shall reveal to you the importance of all the holy places that we come across in the course of our pilgrimage." Finally, King Indrajumna left for Purushottam Kshetra, followed by a large procession that consisted of his subjects, all the ministers and army officers. The entourage touched the bank of river Mahanandi by evening. Deciding to take rest and spend the night there, King Indrajumna first took his bath and then worshipped Lord Jagannatha. After the king had taken his bath, all the rest of the people also took their bath, and then everybody sat down to have their dinner. After the meal was over, while Indrajumna was busy discussing with his ministers on the future course of action, somebody came with the news that the king of Utkal had arrived. Indrajumna ordered the messenger to bring the esteemed guest with all the honor and respect. The king of Utkal arrived and broke disturbing news. Indrajumna, I am afraid your intention of having a divine glimpse of Lord Jagannatha is not going to fructify, as Lord Nilamadhav have presently concealed himself beneath a huge heap of sand caused by a ferocious sandstorm. The fallout of this inauspicious incident has been extremely adverse on my kingdom, as my people are experiencing acute famine. Indrajumna was shocked, especially the thought of not getting a chance to have a divine glimpse of Lord Nilamadhav made him dejected. He saw all his efforts going in vain, but Narada consoled him by saying, "Don't worry, Lord Nilamadhav is extremely merciful and he will certainly give you an opportunity to have his divine glimpse." Indrajumna reaches Ekamarcha Kshetra. Continuing with the tale of Indrajumna, sage Jaimini told all the sages, next morning Indrajumna and his entourage crossed Mahanandi on boats and reached Ekamarcha Kshetra, where they worshipped Lord Purushottam. After that, they worshipped on their onwards journey and reached Kotishwar Mahalaya, where they worshipped Lord Tribuneshwar with appropriate rituals. Lord Tribuneshwar appeared after becoming pleased and blessed in the dream that his wish of seeing Lord Jagannatha was soon going to be fulfilled. Lord Tribuneshwar then instructed Narada, O great soul, after reaching Purushottam Kshetra, help Indrajumna perform 100 yajnas as per the instructions given by Lord Brahma. I, along with Goddess Durga, dwell at the entrance of conch-shaped Purushottam Kshetra. Although presently Lord Jagannatha has concealed himself beneath a heap of sand, yet very soon he is going to manifest himself. Indrajumna should get constructed a magnificent temple of Lord Jagannatha at the same place where once existed his idol, and presently which is hidden beneath the heap of sand. Later on, Vishwakarma would then carve out 4 idols from a single piece of wood, which would subsequently be installed by Lord Brahma himself. Finally, Indrajumna's wish of seeing Lord Jagannatha would get fulfilled. Narada assured Lord Tribuneshwar that all his instructions would be followed in letter and spirit. The procession then left for the place indicated by Lord Tribuneshwar. Indrajumna eulogies Lord Nilamadhav. After reaching the temple of Nilakant Mahadev, all of them worshipped Mahadev and Durga. They then visited the temple of Lord Narsimha situated under a sandalwood tree at the foothills of Nilachal mountain. King Indradyumna was anxiously waiting for the moment he would have a divine glimpse of Lord Jagannatha. He requested Narada to take him to the place where Jagannatha had hidden himself beneath the heap of sand. Narada took him near a banyan tree and said, "Look at this huge banyan tree that is 2 yojanas in height and whose trunk is spread in the area of 1 yojana. To the north of this banyan tree and to the north of Narsimha temple lies the place where Lord Nilamadhav used to have his dwelling some time ago, but who has presently concealed himself. Now the time is not very far when you would see Lord Jagannatha with your mortal eyes." Indrajamna bowed in reverence to the place where Lord Jagannatha was supposed to manifest himself in the near future. He realized the Lord as if he were already present there, and this was true, as Jagannatha's idol was indeed present there, albeit hidden beneath heaps of sand. He prayed, "O Lord, you are the one in whom every living creature ultimately takes refuge. My only wish is to be able to see your idol, which is presently hidden beneath heaps of sand." Hardly had Indrajamna finished his prayer when he heard a heavenly voice, "O king, do not worry. The day is not far when you would see me with your mortal eyes. You just need to follow Narada's instructions and your wish will be fulfilled." Narada installs the idol of Narsimha. Narada told Indrajamna, "Now we should install an idol of Narsimha near Nilakant's temple, for this is the very place where you will be performing 1000 Ashwamedha yajnas in the days to come. So your first priority should be to get constructed a magnificent temple for Lord Narsimha. I plan to stay here for 5 more days, as Vishwakarma will be needing my help in carving out the idol of Lord Narsimha." Leaving Narada alone near the Nilakanta temple, Indrajamna went near the sandalwood tree, which was at a little distance from the temple, and was surprised to find Shughat, Vishwakarma's son, waiting for him. He requested Shughat to construct a grand temple with its main entrance facing west. Shughat constructed the temple within 4 days. On the 5th day, Narada arrived there with an idol of Lord Narsimha, which had been carved out by Vishwakarma. An auspicious day was chosen for installing the idol. After the idol had been installed, everybody, including King Indrajamna, Narada, as well as the people accompanying the procession, worshipped Lord Narsimha. Indrajamna performs Ashwamedha yajnas. Sages who had been listening to the tale narrated by Jamani with rapt attention till then asked, "What did Indrajamna next do after the idol of Lord Narsimha had been installed?" Sage Jamani replied, "After the idol of Lord Narsimha had been installed, Indrajamna began making preparations for Ashwamedha Yagna. He sent invitations to all the deities, learned Brahmins and sages. When everybody arrived, he made a special request to Indra to remain present at the oblation site till the completion of 1000 Ashwamedha Yagas. Indra assured Indrajamna of his full cooperation and advised him to go ahead with his plan of accomplishing 1000 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Finally, Indrajamna performed the first yajna under the supervision of learned priests. This way, he was able to successfully accomplish 999 yajnas without any problem. Finally, when the last Ashwamedha yajna was being performed, Indrajamna had a divine glimpse of Lord Vishnu while he was engrossed in his meditation. Indrajamna narrated his experience to Narada, to which he got a reply that it was a good omen, which proved that the king was going to see Lord Jagannatha with his mortal eyes.